So I recently had my little rant about how console games and loading times and all those sorts of issues, but it just so happened that I ran out of space on my PS4, the 500GB version, so I decided to whack a 1TB kind of fusion drive in there. So I thought I'd share with you just a quick and dirty how-to in case it's of any interest to any of you. So I did a little bit of research online. I don't use my PS4 a great deal, just don't have loads of time for gaming, but I wanted to try and achieve two things without spending a fortune. So obviously in an ideal world you'd want an SSD drive in there, but I was looking to put at least 1TB drive in there. So I decided to go for a hybrid drive or a fusion drive. So it's got that mixture of a standard hard disk with some flash memory, which allows slightly faster load times and just general responsiveness. So I went with the Samsung, I think it was. No, it was a Seagate, sorry, the Seagate Fire CUDA. I went for this a couple of reasons. One, good price point, I think it's about £80. I think it was for 1TB, and it comes with a 5-year warranty, so any issues, this thing is probably going to outlive the PS4 anyway. But there were some good reviews online comparing that to Western Digital's equivalent. So that's why I went with that. So the actual install and replacement is fairly straightforward. Slightly time consuming depending on how many games you've got. You probably want to set around about 30 to 45 minutes to get this all done. And obviously you're just going to leave it for some of the data transfers. So let's get started on what you need to do. I put a link in the description for any files you need to download, just so you have it for reference. Okay, so to get things started, you're going to need 2 USB drives. The first one needs to be at least 1GB, and this is going to be the device that you use to put a copy of the PlayStation Update software on. So there's a link just down below and also in the description. You go here and you download this file. It's, at the time of doing the video, it's around 900 megabytes. You will create a couple of folders on this USB stick. You can see that in the overview here. If you don't have that, and just put the update file directly on to the root of the flash drive, it's not going to work. So make sure you put these two directories. Copy that across once it's downloaded and put it to one side. You won't need that until the end. Now the other USB storage device you need is going to just depend on how many saved games that you have. So this obviously isn't the whole game, it's just your backups that you're saving. So for me, I needed a drive of around 500 gigabytes. So I just had, megabytes. I had an 8GB thumbstick that I just popped in there, and that did the job. So to do this, once you're obviously logged into your PS4, you need to go to the settings menu, and as you scroll down, you can see that you want to get to the games application data storage management type section. In there, by default, it looks like you have to select each game one by one. If you press the options button on your controller, you then have the option to select all. Obviously now you want to plug in that removable storage drive and copy all those things across. Just leave it going. It's what I call Microsoft minutes. It says it's got like 3 minutes left, and it just kind of sits there for like 10 until it's finally finished everything. Once that's done, now you can turn off your PlayStation and unplug everything, and now we get to the nitty-gritty of replacing the drive. So you want to make sure it's on a flat surface. The gloss side, which is on the top left-hand side of the PlayStation, is the area that we need to remove. There's no screws or anything holding this together, it's just basically clips. So you want to kind of push down along the middle where it lights up and firmly pull that away from the center. Be gentle but firm at the same time, and that will unclip, and you just slide it off quite simply. Next, there is a larger screw there that has like the PlayStation logos, or I guess they are logos, like the triangle and the X and the circle, etc. It's a Phillips head screw, so you just need to get a small Phillips head screwdriver, unscrew that, and the drive just pulls straight out just by pulling it away from you. On each corner are 4, again, small Phillips head bolts. There's got some little washers around them that stay in the caddy of the case. Leave those in there. Just undo those 4 bolts and tip it upside down, and the existing drive will come straight out. Pop your new drive in. Obviously in this case it's the Seagate Fire Cuda we're popping in. Replace those 4 bolts and literally basically just insert it back into the drive. Make sure obviously you're doing it in the right orientation. There's really only one way of doing it. Resecure that bolt, and then gently, again but firmly, slide that gloss fascia back on. Don't need to start right from the outside, just kind of pop it up close to where that center light is and then clip it back into place. Now the more time consuming piece, we need to make sure that you have the controller and the USB charge lead plugged into the first USB port. When you turn on the PlayStation, it will boot a couple of times. You'll see the PlayStation logo, and eventually it's going to prompt you to do a restore by plugging in that USB hard disk that we made earlier, or the thumbstick, in my case the 1 GB one. Once you've plugged that in, press OK, and the restore will start, and it's going to go through multiple reboot cycles as it does this. Once it's completed, you'll be prompted to create a new user account. Just leave it as user 1. If you're using a PlayStation network account, you can log in and set all these things up later. The main things are that we now get those saved games restored back. So remove that 1 GB drive or whatever it was that we're using for the installation. Pop in the other one that has your game backups. Again, we go into settings, down through the same menus, but this time we're going to copy the data off of the USB drive onto the internal storage. This for me worked a lot faster, I think for 2 reasons. The transfer rate back onto the new hard drive is better because it's obviously working faster, and so it should only take you, again depending on how many files you've got, around 5 minutes. And that's pretty much it. So now you have an updated PlayStation 4, one definitely with a larger drive capacity, and depending what drive you've gone for, an improved speed. Obviously the sucky part now is you need to reinstall every single one of those games, and I just had to leave mine overnight. I put in each disc one by one until it went online and started downloading the 40 gig per game, so I just left it overnight until the morning until that was finished. I have noticed with this kind of Fusion drive that games do load faster. The console itself seems slightly more responsive. I noticed particularly Battlefield 1 being one of the games that I like, and there doesn't really seem to be too much necessary improvement in load game speed. It is a game that notoriously is slow to load games, but once it's loaded once, then the reloads after do seem significantly quicker than with that standard 5200 RPM drive that was in there originally. So I hope this was helpful. Feel free to leave a comment and share your own experiences. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up, and that's it. Cheers for now. Thanks for watching this video. A thumbs up would be really appreciated. If you're interested in other geek type videos, please consider subscribing to Spectrum Geeks. Why not also follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And before you leave, why don't you check out one of these other videos that may be of interest. Thanks again for watching.